Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well. My name is Jen Slay, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate you. So today I just want to give you a message about emotional pain. Can it be cured? My quick and easy response to that would be no, but the sting can be managed. One of the reasons why I do a lot of these Facebook Lives or a lot of these talks, two reasons. One reason is a selfish reason. It's because I myself might be going through something, and I find that being able to talk with people, even though I can't see you, but being able to talk and get it out is helpful for my own healing journey. The second reason is not a selfish reason. The second reason is because I believe that through the stuff that I've gone through, or through the stuff that my clients or friends have gone through, when I share those things, it's helping somebody else, somebody that I might never come into contact with in real life, but because they heard the story, they're able to cope with whatever they're going through. So it's twofold. I do this for two reasons, right? One, for myself. Two, for others, to help other people. And right now, I will admit to you, I am going to be totally and completely vulnerable with you guys. I am going through a difficult time right now in terms of stuff that's going on in my own life. So you guys know a few years ago that I went through a divorce, right? Now, it's funny how emotional pain comes back, right? So I went through the divorce, went through a lot of stuff, and I'm at a happy place, right? Doing great things, really happy. And then last week, my ex came to me and he gave me some information, and boom, bam, triggered something in me. And the pain came flooding back, right? The pain came flooding back. And so today, I just want to talk about how it is that we can get through these times. Right? When we think that we're totally over something and we think that everything is fine in our lives, and then we get triggered with something. Or people who are listening to this right now, if you are not going through anything, still listen, because there will come a day where you are going through something. And some of the things that I'm going to talk about today are going to be very helpful in strengthening up those emotional muscles that we need when we're going through stuff. So emotional pain, it hurts. And it's not a pain that you can even really describe, like a stomach ache or a headache, right? I mean, I know when I have stomach ache, sometimes if I put myself in a certain position, then the pain will subside and it'll go away eventually. Or a headache, you go in a dark room and it's just silent, right? But with emotional pain, it's just there. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just there. And how to get through it, it's interesting. You just gotta go through it. I mean, there are people that might use alcohol, might use drugs, might use busyness, all of those things so that they can avoid it. But the thing is, it comes back. So you have to just deal with it. Emotional pain comes from a number of places. So choices that we've made in our lives, it might be a consequence to a choice that we've made, or it could be part of life, just a growing pain, something that you got to just go through to get to the next level. Or it might be because you're going through this so that you can use it to help somebody else. So that's where I believe emotional pain comes from and what it's used for. And a question that I've often been asked by friends, by my kids, and by clients is, well, how long does this last? How long does this emotional pain last? And you know what? There is no magic number for it. There really isn't. I remember when I was a teenager and I was dating a boy, and I loved this guy. He was like, loved him. And when we broke up, I was devastated. I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna love anybody like I loved him. well, 20, 30 years later, like, you know what, we were just kids, it was fun. And I don't feel anything anymore. It's just not there. But if I go to my mother and I talk to my mother about her mother, tears start to well in her eyes throughout the conversation because she's remembering her mom who passed away over 45 years ago. So the pain is still there. The sting has just numbed. So sometimes, with emotional pain, sometimes it doesn't totally go away. Sometimes we're going to feel that sting, but it will numb. And eventually we're able to manage it in a way that we're able to still live happy and successful lives. And so, like I said, pain, sometimes it doesn't totally go away, but we can do things to build ourselves up so that we're not feeling it as much, so that we can numb it. Today, when I was at church, I had gone to church early, and I lead Bible study at church. So did Bible study, everything was great, everything was wonderful. And at the beginning of this talk today, I said, you know, last week I got information from my ex that really sent me into a bit of a spiral. And, but I thought I was okay, right? Dealt with it, shed a few tears, good, we're good. But then after the Bible study, I go into the sanctuary and I'm sitting, and you know, sometimes when you sit and you're alone in your thoughts, and then you feel the tears behind your eyes wanting to come, and you're doing everything you can so that you don't cry. So I'm looking up, I'm blinking, right? And I'm like, oh, right? And then the music starts. And you know when the music in church is really good and you're really feeling it, so then a tear or two comes down, right? I'm trying my best not to break down in the sanctuary and just start bawling and crying, right? I'm trying my best. And then usually at the end of the first or the second song in church, the worship leader will then tell us, okay, greet each other, and the music will keep playing, and we're supposed to greet each other. And I'm like, okay, I can't talk to anybody right now because I'm just going to break down. Well, who comes walking down the aisle? One of my very good friends from the time I was 18 comes walking down the aisle. She doesn't normally come to my church. She said, oh, I just felt like coming today. That was an angel from God, because, and I'm gonna tear up now, because I needed her right at that moment. And she held me, and I just cried, right? And she just held me. She said, it's okay. Whatever's going on, it's gonna pass. And she just held, and I needed her right at that moment. And so I say that because I've invested in those relationships to build up a support system around me, so that when the difficult times come, I can call up certain people and be vulnerable with them. So part of the way to get through emotional pain is to build up that build up your friendships, build up your inner circle, the people that are around you. Because when you're going through that difficult time, those are the people that are going to help you through. If anyone has ever said to you that they got through a hard time totally and completely on their own, I bet you they're not being totally honest with you. We need those people around us that are going to help bring us up. So build up that inner circle. Other things that we can do to help ourselves through times of emotional hardship is exercise your mind and your spirit. Exercise. So do, for example, daily affirmations. Remind yourself of who you are every single day. Your I am statements. Because here's the thing, when you're going through a hard time, your feelings are going to trick you into feeling like you're not who you actually are. We can't go by our feelings. We have to remind ourselves daily of who we are, the greatness we have within. It's so, so important to do it even when you're not going through a hard time. Do it when you're not going through a hard time, because then you've got that to fall back on when the difficulties come. Prayer. For me, that's vital, right? I pray, I cry when I'm praying, I'm talking to God, and I'm like, why am I have to go through this? I thought I was over this. What's going on? But sometimes just praying, or off all the time for me, praying, getting it out, just talking it out is very helpful. And having that spiritual connection. If you're not a person that believes in God, meditation is also really important, right? Just being still. Today in church, the pastor was talking about just being still, just stand. He was talking about when you go through a difficult time or you're faced with challenge or you're feeling overwhelmed, that sometimes you just have to stand. You need to do everything that you can do to help yourself through it. But then when you've done everything you can do, then let God do what you can't. So it's so important to just be still, to just stand and be still. The other thing, one of my clients said to me, Jen, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I really go back to those breathing exercises that we talked about. Breathing helps you to calm yourself. It helps you to just bring you back to even. Sometimes when you're feeling overwhelmed, you have that overwhelming feeling, those sensations come and you just don't know what's going, you'll find that you're probably breathing heavy or breathing fast, breathing quickly. And what that does is it takes oxygen away from your brain. And then you're not able to think clearly. You're not able to just be still, right? So breathing, just the act of breathing can help you to get through some of those difficult times. When you're in the thick of it, though, when you're in the thick of the emotions and that pain has come knocking on your door, sometimes it's hard to fall back on these things. I'm not even going to lie. But the thing is, if you're doing it during times when the difficulties aren't there, then you've built up the muscle. I talked about the other day in a post about building up those habits, building up those positive habits to get through stuff, right? Vitally important for you to be able to go through. And so sometimes what you've got to do is, for me, exercising, getting that pent up energy out. Because when you're going through a difficult time, energy is generated and it has to go somewhere. And sometimes it goes inward and we just feel like those depressed feelings where you're just sad. And although it's important to feel that, exercising for me helps me to just get it out. Get it out. Listen to motivational messages, right? Hear what other people have gone through so that it can build up that hope muscle in you. Remind yourself that this time, this difficult time, it's here right now, but it's not going to last forever. Again, sometimes emotional pain, it doesn't totally go away, but the sting can go away and it can be numbed. Anyone who knows me or who has worked with me knows that I have an acronym for almost everything. And so my acronym for pain is pouring awareness inwardly now. That's what it is. It's becoming extremely aware of something that's hurting you right now. And so in order to combat that or to deal with it or to manage it, there's things that we've got to do. Things that we've got to do. Crying, releasing it. Like I said, when we're going through stuff, it's energy. It's pent up energy within us that we need to get out. And I like to exercise. I like to cry. It gets it out. But one of the most important things that I want to leave you guys with is don't rush it. Feel what you need to feel. It is what it is. Give yourself a break and don't rush it. Don't rush it. Pain is there to give us information. Pain is there so that we know, okay, I need to deal with this a little bit more, or it could be a warning signal for something that's going on. That's what it's there for. But we don't need to wallow in it. We do need to do things to get ourselves through it. But don't rush it. Don't rush it. Get through what you need to get through. You've got this. Okay? Slay your day. Thanks for listening.